All right, good morning. I am back ready to draw. Let me just get a few things posted here on social media, letting people know I'm doing this, and we'll get going. Give me 1 minute. Okay, there's that. There's this. Okay. I think I did that fairly efficiently. Okay, we're ready to step over here. Okay, my goodness. Here we go again. Early morning drawing for me. Who knows what time for you? I'll begin like I always do nowadays, shilling my shit. Stuff I got here right now is a bunch of different pins available at Grickle Mart. I have a lot more than these available, but I just grabbed a handful here to show off. I've got Count Pugula, cute little guy. These are all like enamel pins. I really like the way the details turn out on these guys. Let's see what I've got. I've got hidden person with a skull. Super spooky and intimidating, maybe. Creepy and cute. I got a flying turtle. Turtle with wings. And I've also got a happy bat. Grickle bat, as we call him in the shop. Yeah, so that's just a little smattering of pins that I offer. I have many more than these available. You can check them out on gricklemart.com. And that's it. That's the advertising I'm going to do for today. Here we go. Let's get into actually drawing. Oh, okay. Second cup of coffee starting to kick in here. I think I'm going to do what I did last week, which is, because this book is starting to get so filled, I'm just going to chronologically step through it page by page and find the empty gaps, because they're getting harder to find. So me just randomly rifling through the book isn't as efficient as maybe just stepping through. Now I know now that all the beginning is pretty much full up, as you can see. Yep. So what will be the first prompt we come across? Yes, no, yes. Beach scene. Okay, I think I remember the beach scene maybe being the last one I did last time, but maybe not. Yes, because here we go. First one. Hello. The Kinsey. Hello. Welcome. Okay, first thing to draw today will be an anaconda. All right. Trying to figure out a fun way of drawing an anaconda. I feel like an anaconda is a pretty chill kind of snake. Oops, I'm way over here, aren't I? Here, let's get this a little closer. Hello. Andy is bad at games. Hello again. I'm trying to think of what creature would this anaconda maybe have in his coils. maybe I'll just put some sort of classic stereotypical English explorer. How does that work? And his old school pith helmet. He's got a hand sticking out. Maybe a foot of some sort down here. Yeah, I think that works. Deep in the jungles of South America, correct? Right? Anaconda, South America. I think actually when you draw an English explorer, I guess you're thinking Africa, but I'm sure some British explorers made their way over to South America. Oh, thank you. 101 on the 101. Glad you like the art. Let's add a little color to this. A little color. Yeah, I can see. I don't know. I've gotten used to doing it straight to ink. You know what it is, though? I think it's less about skill and my own impatience. I don't want to do all the work to properly plan anything. I just want to dive in. And so I got pretty used to just diving in. And sometimes it goes horribly wrong, so, you know, it doesn't always work out. It's a bit of a risk, for sure. I think also I got used to doing it because going to a lot of different comic conventions and selling art and comics, you know, people want stuff signed, they want sketches, and again, it's like an efficiency thing of just like, I just got to get to the final art as fast as possible, and so I just got used to just jumping right in with ink. And again, it doesn't always work, but it does also force you into simpler decisions in a good way most of the time, I think. I mean, sometimes it's bad because I think you default to the stuff that you know will work, and you can get a little bit in a rut. You won't be as daring, but there's a level of just straight up efficiency, clear communication you just have to do when you do it straight to ink. I don't know. It's interesting. I've been fascinated watching a lot of Quentin Blake's process. I've seen, you know, videos of him working in, you know, he is like the ultimate cartoonist in terms of just his art just looks so off the cuff and yet it's so appealing. But definitely have found watching the process stuff, like, it's kind of a weird illusion that he gives because he really does sweat over what that single image is going to be. Even though it's just a few lines, he generally, I think, has done like 1,000 versions of it before he settles on the one that he's going to go with. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of amazing. Yeah, you know, and again, it's a bit of an illusion sometimes when people whip out like amazing drawings just right out of a pen. I mean, yes, they have the skill, obviously, but you're kind of not seeing the fact that they have spent generally, presumably, thousands of hours perfecting that one style of caricature or image they're going to do. You know, like there's a lot of grunt work that went into it that makes it now look so easy. I think a lot about the similarity of it to comedians. I find, like, you know, a lot of most comedians, when they're up on stage doing their routines and their bits, always give that sense like they're just off the cuff and making it up as they go. But they are not, generally. You know, they have worked and massaged that material and tried it out a million thousand different ways and really refined it and honed it to make it, to create this illusion of just off the cuffness that they do. You know, like so many art forms, I guess. Good morning, good morning. Hello, hello. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's all a bit of the tricks of the trade, I guess, is giving that illusion that it's just so effortless and off the cuff. And generally, there's been a lot of work gone into it. That you just don't see in that moment. And it gives that amazing magic trick feel of like, wow, this person can just whip this thing off. And they do, but they spent a lot of time getting there. Let's see here. Yeah, it is fun, right? It's like the ultimate card trick when you have got it honed to that bit. It feels great to be able to just, in moments, just create what looks like a masterpiece or a real clever piece of art right in front of somebody's eyes. I mean, that's what the work was for, I guess, right? To get to that point. And it's a nice little payoff. Let's see here. Kind of like the way this angle on the anaconda worked out. Kind of fun. Okay. Oh, anaconda. I know, right? All right. Let's flip forward and see what the next prompt is. Nothing here. Oh, there's that Grand Canyon. I like the way that one turned out, Kermit. It's a funny looking lion. Mad Hatter. That's a while ago, that one. Football. Nope. Ooh, yeah, koala bear. Which is not a bear. Nope. Done. Wow, look at this. This is all done. Done. Oh, there's that weird Eiffel Tower I did. Whoops, I skipped a page. Nope, that's all done too. Trip down. Oh, here we go. Jack in the Box. Okay. Okay. Jack in the Box. This would be fun. Kind of want to make this creepy because, you know, it's fun. Fun to make things creepy. I didn't even remember that. Hidden person on the armadillo. Did I pass that? Was that back there? Oh, right there. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Good one. Fun one. Do 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 do. I feel like this Jack in the Box is just daring you to crank that crank. Oof, getting pencils stuff all over my hands from the previous one on the other page here, on the other side of the page here. Okay, let's see now. Hey, Swarm of Dead Insects, hello. Welcome, as always. I don't remember what the Jack in the Box. I guess the boxes just vary, right? The reason the hidden people are red. Well, the hidden people came about, for me, my version of it. I'm sure I've told this story before, but for anybody that hasn't heard it, was a weird confluence of things. Let's see. I'd recently gone to Iceland, or was about to go to Iceland, actually. Thinking a lot about Iceland for some reason. Lots of different reasons. Actually, there was a good friend living there, and we were going to go for a visit, which we did eventually. I don't know, big fan of Bjork at the time. Still am. Anyway, very into Icelandic things and Scandinavian lore and all that. And the hidden people are a big part of specifically Icelandic lore, I guess. And it's a very interesting thing. My version of it is not really adhering to what the Icelandic version is. Because the Icelandic version, to me, of what I remember is the hidden people are almost like an invisible people. Almost like ghosts in a way. So they're like proportionally, they don't look like gnomes necessarily. I think they look like humans. Because essentially, I think they are sort of human spirits. I could be getting this all mixed up. It's been a while since I've read it all. But anyway, and Iceland reveres the whole thing. They're like to the extent where there's stories of basically redirecting roads and things because it might disturb where hidden people are. And so they kind of believe in the whole thing, which is fascinating. So there was that element, and just the name, the hidden people. It sounds a little sinister. Sounds a little spooky. Loved it as a title or a name for something. So anyway, very into that. And then these were the early days of YouTube and the internet-ish, mid-2000s, early 2000s. And there was a whole host of weird videos that said they were real. Whether they were or not, I don't know. And they mostly took place in Central and South America. But there were these videos of gnomes, like little tiny people getting caught on camera, like just bizarre. And they were so spooky and scary and amazing. So it was me being really into those weird gnome videos and the Icelandic thing come together. I made a short called The Hidden People. Now the red thing, making them red is just the most angry, most intense color, really, right? You can't get something more vivid than red, really. Color of blood, I mean, it's just inherently intense. So I decided to make them all red. Also, weirdly, I guess because a movie I hadn't even watched at the time, but I was interested in watching it, and it was called Don't Look Now, I think. Donald Sutherland, spooky movie about a couple losing their daughter and then having a trip in Venice and seeing this person in a little red coat showing up everywhere. And it was really creepy. And again, I hadn't even watched the movie. I just knew the concept a bit and had seen clips from it. And that inspired, I think, the red color for the gnomes. So, yeah, you're right. It's a little counterintuitive if you're trying to hide and then you're an intense red color. Not exactly working towards the name there, is it? But I don't know. It gives them an intensity. They pop in no matter what environment they're in. They have this dramatic contrast. So yeah, there you go. That's the hidden lore behind the hidden people. And I have mentioned it before, but maybe not to that extent. Anyway, you're maybe the first to hear the full story there. And I've enjoyed drawing them ever since. Okay, that's the Jack in the Box. We're going to move on. Yeah, they're sort of asserting their hiddenness. Good idea. Good way to qualify that. A grappling hook. Okay, grappling hook. Let's go with a dramatic angle here. Test my drawing skills this morning. Let's see here. Boy, this is maybe an angle that was too tough to pull off. I don't know. It's always tricky when you get into really foreshortened drawings, angles. I don't know if that reads. Oh well. Tried. We're going to say they're way up here. On a cliffside. Maybe there's a river down there. Forest. Maybe it's like a castle wall. Maybe they're scaling. Whew, that's a tricky one. I don't know if that fully reads, but yeah, it's worth a try. Worth a try. I'll just add a little bit of tone to this. Just so the hook part really stands out. No, that helped a little bit. Clarified it a little. All right, I'm not going to add any more tone to that. I feel like I'm going to muddy it up if I do. Okay. There we go. Another prompt down. Moving on to the next page, and it's all full. All full. On to the next. All full. My son has done a warrior from a long time ago. Pretty cool looking dude. Okay, on to the next one. Colosseum, I think I did that a long time ago. Yep, artichoke, carrots, bubbling cauldron. All full, all full. All full. Yep, all full. Wow, we are really getting to the end of this book here. Well, I mean, I say that we're not even halfway through this book, but in terms of the page count. But let's see. Ah, here we go. Here's a bunch of stuff. Jungle, your favorite emoji. Oh my gosh. Jungle, eh? All right. Gosh, I think I know why I avoided this. Jungle means a lot of drawing. What can we do with a jungle? Well, let's see. I'm just going to make up animals that I have no reference for, but I'm going to start with a toucan, which I guess makes this South American. A lot of South American style stuff going on this morning. Okay, there's that. Okay. No. 101 on the 101s. It's actually a question numerous people have asked in the past too. Nope. This is a book that I got long ago, actually originally from my sons, to just draw in, but it already came with the prompts printed in them. I know the prompts look handwritten, well, it's the style of font or whatever they chose, but no, these things were already pre-printed in the book, and you know, my boys used it a little bit, but not a lot, and it laid in my studio untouched for quite a few years, and then I rediscovered it, and it became the perfect little thing to motivate me to do some live drawing on Twitch, as I still attempt to understand Twitch and grow an audience here, I guess. And so I've been doing it ever since. But I did not write any of these prompts. These prompts came pre-printed in here. I'm going to try to draw an orangutan, which I don't know. I don't really know how to draw an orangutan. I mean, I know how to do sort of my default monkey. I just always, when I think of orangutans, I think of middle-aged men who have a great big bald spot, and I don't know that that's necessarily true of the orangutan. Maybe some of them. And really long arms. And of course the color will help. You know, it's funny. I'm not that familiar with the Pratchett stuff, and yet everyone always tells me, like, not everyone, a lot of people tell me that the stuff I illustrate, the cartoons I do, would very much fit into the Pratchett universe. I probably should read some Pratchett books. Discworld, that's the big one, right? It seems to be the one I remember everybody always recommending. And that's like a ton of books, is it not? I'm really making this one up as I go. Over 20 books. Wow. Okay. Have you read all of them? Swarm of Dead Insects? I suspect you might have, given your quick knowledge of the whole thing. Unless you're just Googling right now as we speak. Most of them, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good. I mean, tonally sort of Monty Python-ish. That sort of British humor, that irreverent, non sequitur kind of stuff, right? Is that a way to describe it? I don't know where I'm going with the composition in this jungle drawing, but whatever. Let's add some variety of plants here. Douglas Adams, yes, sorry, that's the other name. Which, again, similar, right? Python, Douglas Adams. Again, it's a very distinctive, I guess, for lack of a better term, British humor, which I love. We'll add a little puma, panther. Oh, took me a second. Swarm of Dead Insects. I was like, what is that anagram? But I get it now. The obvious Hitchhiker's Guide. Gonna do my typical just straight-legged cat. I'll just obscure some of that with some more jungle. Oh, good. See, I'm glad that we talk about books and movies here, because I would hope that beyond just watching me draw silly things, this is somewhat educational. Find new things to read or watch through discussion. Isn't that great? Deep in the jungle here. South American jungle. Maybe we'll add some sort of supernatural element. I don't know. I'm tempted. I'm always tempted to add some sort of ridiculous supernatural element, even though this prompt does not suggest that. I can't help myself. And so I might. could have drawn more varieties of animals here, but I think we're going to add the supernatural element right here. It's a very suspicious supernatural element. Okay, let's add some color in here. I think this is just going to have to need a lot of color. This is going to take a bit of time. There's a lot to color. Yeah, I don't know. Is it a tree guy? Could be a tree guy. I'm not really sure what he is or what she is. Who knows? Could be a she. I guess it looks sort of masculine for the nose and the face, but I like that the orangutan's just grabbing onto that branch up there. That's cool. Yeah, you know what? I think I've heard of that as well. Swarmated insects that, yeah, orangutan translates to forest person, which makes sense given how humanistic a lot of the features of an orangutan kind of are. Well, most monkeys really. Primates. Just kind of giving it an overall greeny vibe, and then we're going to go in and start getting this a little bit spruced up. Okay. Let me see. I've got a darker green here somewhere. Yes, I do. Huh. Andy's bad again. That's an interesting fact. Don't talk, because if they did, they'd be made to work. Kind of like my teenage son. That's funny. Yeah, well, I can understand that. We're definitely going to make this guy really mysterious back here. Try out some fun shading stuff here. Okay, let's get some branches colored here, and then I'll move on to the animals. Yeah, exactly. I love drawing stuff lurking in the shadows. That's the funnest thing for me. Somebody hiding in the background, where you ideally discover them after you've already been looking at the illustration for a bit, and then you're like, whoa, wait a minute. That's the best, in my opinion. Favorite animal to draw? I don't know. I honestly know so few how to draw them in a shorthand kind of way. So animals I draw a lot. I draw pugs a lot. I enjoy the pug. I still feel like I don't really have a perfect simplified way of drawing them yet, though. I still keep experimenting with that. I love drawing birds. Again, don't have a great actual knowledge of a lot of varieties of birds, but I do enjoy drawing them. That just proportionally with a big beak. It's always fun. I struggle with cats, as you can see by my puma here. I want to be better at drawing cats. I still haven't really figured out a great way to draw them. Dogs of all sorts, honestly, beyond the pug, I enjoy drawing dogs. People's pets, I guess. I don't know, there's no one animal I think I could say I enjoyed drawing the most. They all come with their own unique challenges and fun little payoffs when you draw them in a way that you like. Okay, I guess we'll just start coloring some animals here. Let's get going on the orangutan first. Orangutan, not exactly orange. I'm going to mix a few colors here and try to get that orangutan vibe going here. But they're not really orange. They're orange-ish. They're sort of tinged with a deeper red. But I think we'll put an orange base to begin with here, just to figure it out, get it going. Yeah, that sort of works. Really making it up as I go here. That's definitely a orangutan-y feeling, right? Maybe a little bit of deep, dark brown, a little dark brownish color. Maybe that might not be the right. Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna go too nuts with that. All right. Boy, I don't remember the coloring on a toucan. So I'm just gonna wing it here. Might just be a bird with a big beak. Wing it. Yep. Oh boy, I wasn't even intending that pun. Yeah, I don't think that's quite right for a toucan, but it's going to be what it is today. It's a jungle bird of some sort. Big orange beak. A white. Okay, I'm glad you said the white bib thing, because I'll just do that then. I wouldn't have done that. And now I will do that. Okay. Gosh, do I make it a Black Panther or do I make it a jaguar? I think a jaguar would be more fun. We'll try for that. Yeah, the dumbass burbs. Maybe it's a really big ocelot. I always like that name for jungle cats, but they're little guys. Yeah, I think that works. Oh, good, good. Drum and bass burb. I wasn't thinking that. I read that quickly and thought it said dumbass burb. Sorry. Just the way my mind works, I guess. Oh yeah, no, birds are smart. Don't get me wrong. Well, some birds are. Like crows? Crows. Super smart. Parrots, pretty clever, I think. Cockatoo, cockatiel, whatever. Yep, those guys. Smart. Let's see here. There we go. Excuse me. Some different greens here just to pop some of these plants a little bit. Some distinction in the jungle. There. And then we're going to really that makes sense. Birds seem to be a little ahead of the game from most of the animals. looks good and mysterious. There's a little shadow here for a few other spots. Generally, yes, because I feel pretty comfortable with. I don't. It's for all the talk of high risk, drawing straight ahead with ink. On the side of color, which I don't feel as confident in as I do with sort of my line work, I guess. I default to pencil crayons a lot of times because I just have a general familiarity and experience with them that feels low risk. I can kind of control the result in ways that I can mostly predict. And you know what? Again, it's an efficiency thing. Pencil crayons you just pick up and go. Whereas with paint, you gotta always be fussing with the amount of water to paint. Well, I'm speaking more watercolors, I guess, than anything, but that's the paint that I'm most familiar with. And I love the results of doing watercolor, but it's more time intensive for me, and I'm just not as well versed in watercolor stuff, so I do it when I'm feeling brave and up for it, but I generally default to pencil crayons for color stuff. Yeah, just because it's fast, easy, and low risk for me. I can get the result generally that I want. Not always, but generally. Oh, okay. I think that's it for the jungle scene. Wow, pulled that off. I like it. I like the way this turned out. Not bad. Got enough time for maybe one more, which, if I'm following through on just going forward, is your favorite emoji. Oh my gosh, that's kind of a weird one. Excuse me. Well, this won't take very long, will it? I don't know. I don't know that I have a favorite emoji. I mean, I like the first one that came to mind is and this isn't exactly accurate because I'm drawing googly eyes, whereas generally it's just dot eyes. I like the grimace one where he's like, I don't know if I should have said that. So I'm doing that. My version, of course. Yes, I have heard of watercolor pencils. I've never actually tried them. I should try them just to see. Just to see what that would be like. I feel like the emojis they have a little extra color to them, right? Well, I guess it depends what platform, computer, whatever you're using them, but yeah, there's little hints of extra texture or color hits just to spice them up a little, I guess. I guess this guy is a grimace, but also maybe a little bit embarrassed. A little bit of an oopsie emoji. Oopsie. Oh geez, cringe. Okay. Just adding all kinds of extra dimensionality to this emoji because there's not a lot to work with here, so why not? There it is. Look at that 101 on the 101. Yep. Good reference. I feel like I'm cheating now. I've got the reference right there. But it's too late. I can't change this drawing. And I drew it without looking at reference. Okay. Well, that is pretty much an hour of drawing. So I guess I'm going to stop right there. Secondhand embarrassment emoji. Yep, that's a good description. Yeah, I think that's it for today, folks. So as always, thank you all for hanging out, watching me draw, listening to me ramble on. I hope it was enjoyable for you, and I will try to be back here again next week. All right. Thanks, everybody.